また消したのに。マガ通信、ネットニュース出てる。
Persona 5, the Phantom X, more commonly known by its codename Persona 5X, has been a mysterious release for the past year. It first launched in China in April of 2024 after years of anticipation, but the language barrier and region lock made it tricky to access. We knew the cast was brand new, but thematically tied to the original game through shared world elements. An English version would surely eventually arrive, so the only thing to do was sit tight and watch for official news. When that announcement finally landed, it landed hard. Not only would the mobile release hit worldwide, it would be joined by a proper PC port. The question became simple: was the wait worth the wait?
お時間を頂戴した。現実のあなたは学校なる場所。さて。主が以前におっしゃったあなた様が。
Persona 5X opens with our new protagonist, Kamisa Nagishiro. His surname has to be shortened to Kamisiro in English due to the 8-letter limit, drifting through life until a Metaverse Navigator app refuses to disappear from his phone. Strange figures linger on the edge of his vision, and his dreams star a black-haired Phantom Thief. The opening recreates Joker's casino escape from Persona 5. Lights, parkour, masked guards, the works. After the first tutorial battle, static fills the screen and Joker is ambushed by another thief in a near-identical outfit. A snappy duel follows, and Nagisa jolts awake in a cold sweat. It is an effective hook, packing enough mystery to keep players guessing. The story obviously can't run parallel to the original. There are no major Phantom Thieves or their nemesis wandering around, yet it also doesn't quite feel like a sequel. That tension makes the setup immediately compelling. From there, the prologue and first chapter echo the beats of Persona 5, but with twists. Wonder, the codename Nagisa eventually adopts, is not a transfer student. He is a longtime Tokyo resident whose parents live abroad. First friend he meets, Motoha, is a former baseball ace rather than a track star, subverting the series' usual guy best friend first pattern. These shifts sound small, but they give Persona 5 the Phantom X just enough room to breathe on its own. Mascot companion Lufel very quickly pulled me in. Where Morgana leans cool cat confidence until An shows up, Lufel is helpful, kind of dorky, and blessedly free of crush on everything habits. The hoodie look is adorable, the Tonfa weapons nod to trails from Zero's Lloyd Bannings, and his persona, Rob Roy, resembles a kilted SD Gundam. That personality helps sell him as more than a wink to a previous mascot. The broader cast also holds up. Motoha took time to click, but her persona awakening nails the energy of both Ryuji and An without feeling like a copy-paste. Unfortunately, the first two villains are strictly Diet Kamoshida. Kyuchi, Palace Owner number 1, is infamous for shoulder-checking commuters on the subway, a real-world problem sometimes linked to harassment, but his random violence feels too blatant to avoid arrest. The writers even hint that pride will be his sin before swerving to lust midway through, seemingly just to mirror the original's opening arc. It's familiar to a fault. Thankfully, the original creative leads reclaimed more control starting with Chapter 3. Those chapters are not yet live in the global version, but they have been well received on Chinese servers, so stronger writing does appear to be coming, and I can't say I haven't been entertained by the campy aspects of the game in the meantime. Combat builds on Persona 5's knockdown and one more foundation while embracing the roster size expected of a gacha RPG. Outside of Wonder, who can still swap personas, characters fit narrower roles than their console counterparts. Lufel opens as a healer with a single target fire spell. Motoha rains lightning across enemy lines but lacks heavy single target damage. Phantom Idol Kotone stacks ice counters for explosive follow-ups. I like the clarity. You know exactly what a recruit will do before sinking resources into them, and the game hands you a healer immediately. Wonder's base persona mixes multi-target gun damage and light magic, a smart contrast to Joker's dark focus. Triggering a weakness still grants one more, but here any party member can toss out a character-specific follow-up. Topple the whole lineup and the traditional all-out attack wipes the screen, complete with custom cut-ins if it ends the battle. Most content is available whenever you reach it. Stamina only applies to daily dungeons for upgrade materials. That flood of currencies can feel overwhelming early on. Until you hit a story wall, spending stamina efficiently is guesswork. Pro tip: funnel it into character EXP and hidden skill materials first. The linear power spike is worth it. Daily life sim elements survive in a more streamlined form. Players receive 3 action points per in-game day to raise social stats, clock in at part-time jobs, or bond with friends. Right out of the gate, a Persona 5 crossover event lets you sip coffee at Café LeBlanc in exchange for limited rewards. Hanging out with your own crew also unlocks extra features, mirroring confidant perks from the mainline entries. So far, so good. Where Phantom X stumbles is the technical side and, more recently, its approach to global servers. I praised the Android build for holding 30 frames per second on a Galaxy S23 Plus. The Steam port, however, remains rough. Recommended specs list a GTX 1060 and an 8th gen Core i5. Respectable but dated hardware. My Ryzen 5800X 3D and Radeon 6800 XT outclass those parts handily, but frame rate dives hit every 10 seconds or so even on low settings, and GPU temps spike really hard. Controller support oscillates between functional and unusable. More than once I was trapped in menus while inputs failed. It turns the casino heist aesthetic into a sputtering slideshow. Several hotfixes have arrived since launch. They reduce some hitching, but anyone expecting even locked 60 frames per second on mid-range hardware will still be disappointed if they're on Team AMD. Until Atlas and Perfect World Shanghai iron out the PC build, mobile remains the smoother option, even locked to 30 frames per second on my Retroid Pocket 4 Pro. Performance is not the only headache. Post-launch patches have highlighted significant reward disparities between the original Chinese release and the new global C and JP servers. Chinese players routinely receive 300 metajoules for major updates, but Global's first patch handed out 100. The CN version rolls out exchange codes every other week, but Global has yet to see a single one. Banner cadence is faster for us, a partial attempt at catching up, but launch currency earnings were not raised to match. In practice, that means less time to save and fewer rolls per banner. Marion, the first limited character, entered China's standard pool once her feature run ended, and Chinese users even received a free copy of her and her weapon. Global players lost both perks. Most damning, Soft Pity was quietly removed at launch. Chinese banners guaranteed the feature unit at 110 pulls. Global reverted to a full 160 pull hard pity. Community spreadsheets now track over-budget whaling just to keep parity with Chinese meta lineups. Velvet trial rewards tell the same story. Chinese servers grant a flat 100 joules per challenge. Global drops only 50 for early tiers, then backloads 120 joule payouts behind endgame fights with inflated enemy levels and missing weaknesses. That gating pressures new players to summon across more affinities or wait weeks to farm over power creep. It feels like deliberate wallet pinching, and the English-speaking community has been loud about it. Atlas has yet to address these discrepancies beyond boilerplate "we value feedback" statements. The irony here is tangible. Phantom Thieves once punished exploitative adults, now their own spin-off risks alienating international fans through nickel-and-dime policy. Mechanically, Phantom X's pull rates are average for modern gacha games, but value adds like daily codes, standard pool updates, and pity safety nets are where goodwill usually lives. Remove or nerf those, and even the best turn-based system cannot distract from the grind. If you're comfortable running purely free-to-play, you can still clear story beats. You will, however, stare at level gates that require days of stamina burns or paid refills. The absence of overflow energy, a feature most genre leaders adopted years ago, hurts too. Once stamina caps, it and action points sit idle unless you log in every few hours. None of this wrecks the excellent art direction, rich soundtrack, or snappy combat loop, but it does dampen long-term enthusiasm. Whales will always bankroll live service titles, but that does not mean smaller spenders need to feel second class on day one. Persona 5 The Phantom X nails the stylish dungeon school loop better than any mobile-first spin-off has any right to. The core gameplay clicks, side activities feel authentically Persona, and the promise of later chapters written by the mainline team is tantalizing. But the PC port still has some technical issues, early villains lean on nostalgia a little too hard, and the global economy undermines every generous first impression. Atlas once asked players to change the hearts of the corrupt, and right now fans are asking the publisher to change its own. If technical wrinkles smooth out and Global catches up to Chinese's reward standards, soft pity included, Phantom X could become a staple time killer between mainline releases. Until then, I recommend enjoying the mobile build for its story and turn-based battles, and keeping your wallet sealed. Let Sega and Perfect World prove they are listening before you let the stylish menus steal more than your heart. Noisy Pixel is giving Persona 5 The Phantom X a 7 out of 10. Thanks for watching. This video is brought to you by our supporters on Patreon. Noisy Pixel is run by a group of gamers providing independent gaming coverage through news, reviews, previews, and more. Check out our Patreon to help support our continued growth and subscribe to keep up with all of our future content.
Noisy Pixel.